That's awesome. Hello everybody, welcome back to Ray's World. I'm your host Ray. We're doing some table time with Ray. All right. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about density. I'm going back through some old pay dirt. I got a gold pan in the mail yesterday, ordered a gold claw, and it is awesome. I messed around with it a little bit. We're going to do some panning a little bit later on. But it's supposed to be really good at catching fine gold. I know that I've got some pay dirt right here. It didn't come in this jar, it came in a bag. It's from Golden Pay Dirt. It's their Nugget Reserve. It's a 5-pound bag. It was actually a 2.5-pound bag, but it was buy one, get one. So I got 5 pounds of that. And when I was panning this out, I was using a traditional pan, and I know I missed gold. I know I did. I'm sure that I saw gold go out of the pan and into my other pan. I pan into a pan so that I don't miss it. So golden pay dirt. I've got some Lynch Mining Reserve pay dirt. This was really good. I've already panned this out. Got really good dirt from it. This is a sample of 5 gallons of pay dirt that was glacial till that I got from Mount Pleasant. So I'm doing this video because I was in a live stream last week. I was on Klesh Guitars TV. Go check that out. I'll put a link in the description. And last year I had sent Klesh Guitars some of this glacial till from Michigan to see if he could find any gold in it. And that was before I was doing videos. Just before. Told him I had plans to do it. Well, he asked me about it this last Thursday. I sent it to him. Gosh, it was back like Thanksgiving or before. And so he asked me about it Thursday, and I said, no, I haven't done it yet. And then I, over the weekend got this idea for this video to talk a little bit about density. I want to talk about density because what's important in gold panning, and I'm not very good at gold panning. I'm a noob. I'm not ashamed to admit that. What's important in gold panning is stratification. Now, Klesh Guitars and AJ from AU79 Prospecting, there's a link down below as well, they both have videos out there about stratification and about stratifying your sediments. I don't have a gold pan sitting with me, but that's why we shake the gold pan, okay? We gotta stratify those sediments, get all the gold to the bottom. One thing that people talk about a lot is that gold is heavy. You wanna get all the heavies to the bottom. Well, this thing right here, holding down my phone, it's a piece of glass. That's heavy. But this little piece of granite right here, that's heavy. I've got gold right here. That's not that heavy. All right. When we talk about density, we talk about stratification, we got to talk about how heavy something is per unit volume. That's what density is. The more dense something is, when it's in that liquid environment or when it's in that fluid environment, that's when it's going to sink to the bottom. Now, I'm not saying that Klesh Guitars or that AJ from AU79 Prospecting doesn't understand this. I believe they fully do. But I just wanted to put out a little video. I have a background in geology. I get to show off some cool rocks. I get to talk geology when I talk density. So I'm excited to do that. And hopefully it will help somebody else understand what's going on in your pan. Because when you understand what's going on in your pan, and AJ said this, when you understand what's going on in the pan, you don't lose gold. There's another trick to not losing gold, and I'm going to explain that here in a little bit. So let's talk about density in terms of mathematics. I like math. I have a background in geology, okay? Density is measured in typically grams per cubic centimeters, all right? So that's the mass of an object. You weigh it out in mass. You get your grams, and you divide that by the cubic centimeters, the volume. You can measure that. There's other ways to do that, but you divide it by the volume, length times width times height, cubic centimeters. You get grams per cubic centimeter. You get a density, and you get a number. So gold panning works because gold has a very, very high density. The density will vary based upon the impurities, but let's look at some gold. All right, there's some gold. All right, that's all the gold I have in the world minus my wedding ring, which is 14 karat gold. But gold in general has a density around 19 grams per cubic centimeter. Again, that's going to vary depending on the purity, depending on any impurities that are in there. And this is all in comparison to water. Water has a density of about 1. Depends on the temperature. I know. Very cold water is more dense than 1. Room temperature water is about 1. Ice is less than 1. That's why ice floats on water. Okay, for the most part, it doesn't fully float all the way on top, but whatever. Let's just go with it. Water has a density of about 1. Gold is 19 times or so heavier. Somebody's going to correct me on that. But gold is heavier than water, so it sinks. Its density is higher. Let's just say that. The gold has a density of about 19 grams per cubic centimeter. Lead, and here's a nice cube of lead. This came out of a mine in Missouri. Lead has a density of about 11, all right? So there's a trick to making sure that you don't lose gold. And Klesh Guitars brought this to my attention, and Vogus Prospecting, Chris down there in Australia, he loves seeing lead shot. I've got a little vial of lead shot. He loves seeing lead shot in the pan because then he knows he's down where the heavies are, where the gold's gonna be, all right? He's usually on top of bedrock. He's using a Yabby pump, or he's got his gold crock gold pan out there. So a trick is, if you're panning out concentrates, before you get them wet or before you start stratifying them, put a couple of lead pellets in there. Take a shotgun shell and carefully take it apart. I don't recommend you do that, but if you can, if you know how, do it. Don't do it, whatever. If you can get a hold of some lead shot, put like 3 or 4 of them, put 2 of them in there, all right, a known amount. Then when you're done panning, if you still have your lead shot, you likely have your gold, okay? What else is found with gold? Well, we find black sands with gold a lot, all right? Black sands are iron-rich sands, hematite, magnetite. This is a piece of magnetite. It's a giant piece. I got it out in Utah from a formation. This is apatite, this lighter colored mineral. It's what your teeth are made of. This is apatite in there, but this is magnetite. You can see it's magnetic. These are just some weak magnets. I'm not going to use my neodymium magnet because it'll break when it hits this. So this is a big chunk of magnetite. Magnetite has a density of about 5 grams per cubic centimeter. So about half of what lead is, if you're just using that numerical value. It's about half of what lead is. So you find hematite, magnetite, they're all iron rich. They all have about the same density. So that's what's kind of left over after you pan out all your blonde sands. Well, what are your blonde sands made out of? Typically they're made out of 3 types of minerals. Some type of feldspar, could be plagioclase, could be orthoclase. It depends upon the composition, whether it's pink, it's white, or it's whatever color. And this is just very generally speaking. Mica and quartz. Well, quartz has a density of about 2.6. I didn't get any quartz out. Let me grab some quartz. Here's a fun piece of quartz right here. This is called Druzy quartz, all right? Quartz has a density of about 2.6. All right, so that makes sense that it's going to be able to come out of the pan really easily. Feldspar, I don't have any pure feldspar, but here's a nice little egg of granite that I pulled out of a river. That feldspar is that pink type mineral you're seeing in there. And then mica. This is a small piece of mica. It's purple. It's called lepidolite, but it still is the same type of a thing as biotite. This is biotite mica. I got this on eBay years ago. It's been in a box forever. But this is mica. You'll find that in granite a lot. So the feldspar has a density of about 2.5 grams per cubic centimeter. The mica is about 2.1. All right. So let's think about this for just a minute. If you're more dense, you're going to sink to the bottom of a system that has a medium that's less dense than what you are, right? You take this rock right here, you drop it in water. The water's the medium, it's less dense than the rock. The rock's gonna sink. If this were an ice cube, it would float. So if we have a medium that has a density somewhere around 2.1 to 2.6 mica to the feldspar, to the quartz, and we add gold, which has a density of 19, we put water in there to make it fluid so that we can stratify it, that gold's gonna go straight to the bottom. Okay? Again, that's why you put lead shot in with your concentrates, so that you know if you put in 2 lead shot, density is about 11, and you get out 2 lead shot and there's no gold in the pan, there was no gold in the pan to begin with. All right? For the most part, guys, we're not talking about surface tension. We're not talking about adding a surfactant like dish soap or jet dry or something like that. Something to break the surface tension, because gold will float. Depends upon grain size. I know. Grain size, grain shape, the size. You know, if it's a really big one, is it going to roll out? Is it flat and it's going to float? Like, all things being equal here, guys. In general, if you come out with the same number of lead shot as you went in with, then you're going to ensure that you're not losing any of that shiny stuff. And we're going to pan through my lynch mining, my golden pay dirt, as well as I've got 5 gallons of this pay dirt to go through, and a little sample. When I bought my gold claw, they sent me a little sample to practice with. And I practiced with it a little bit, so I'm kind of familiar with how to use it. I've watched Chris from Vogus Prospecting. I've watched his videos on how to use that gold claw pan. You don't turn it, you go back and forth, and the material always stays underwater. So we're gonna do that, see if we missed any gold from our traditional pan. We're gonna add some lead shot to that to make sure that we're not losing any gold, and we'll see. We'll see what we missed. I have no doubt that in my golden pay dirt, this big jar right here, that we missed gold. I have no doubt in my mind that we missed gold. My lynch mining, I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure I got all of this out of there. I didn't weigh it up. I don't have a scale. But you know, we'll see. So hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Think about density. Think about what's in your pan, about where that gold is. Go out and check out AJ's video on stratification. Go check out Klesh Guitars. Go check out Chris at Vogus Prospecting. They do really good videos, very interesting videos, and hey, it's just fun to see people getting gold. Take care. So here's the pocket gold claw gold pan. In the kit that they sent was a 1 ounce sample of pay dirt. It's got gold in it, and so it's kind of a nice little jar. We're gonna save that. You watching, Owen?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You gonna watch through the camera? Can you see me okay?
Yep.
Make sure we get everything in there. Now, I had some tips from Chris at Vogus Prospecting. He said make sure that you use long sweeping side-to-side motion, and keep the gravel underwater. So let's get it wet, stratified a little bit, and so let's put it underwater. And I may not do it correctly, but this is practice pay dirt, right? Trust your riffles, right? Trust your riffles. I see gold.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right.
Now I can see.
So let's get it all down in the bottom of the pan.
Now I can see.
Oh, you have to be careful. And let's go over to the finishing side.
Daddy said I can watch him.
Let's go to the finishing side.
Daddy, see? Excuse me.
And, oh yeah. That's awesome.
Wow, we found some gold. in the ear. Gold is super tiny. Where is the gold already? I just see some shine. If you turn the ocean.
Nice. That's pretty fine gold. I have to say, I'm impressed. I can't wait to do the rest of it. This was just a sample. This was a little 1 ounce sample that came with the kit.
Wow. Gold is floating
Yep, you see that?
Yeah. Some flakes float.
Sometimes.
Floating,
Well, that's awesome, guys.
floating gold.
There's our blonde sands and our black sands.
That is
There's our gold. Oh, it's floating again.
I still can see some gold on its side.
That's cool. We are getting ready to pan some gold. We are in the kitchen. My wife has given me permission to go ahead and use the kitchen sink. It's cold, it's windy outside, and it would just be uncomfortable. So what we've got is we've got a setup with Jack. Jack's going to be helping us out. We're set up here in the kitchen sink to pan out some gold. I've got Not So Crusty Rusty right there. We've got our gold claw that we just got in the mail this week. All right, so number one, I've got warm water here, and I've got warm water because I'm inside. Now, Ray's World Super Surfactant. We're just gonna put a little drop in here, break that surface tension. We're looking for really fine gold here today, so we don't want anything floating. I've got my Gold Crock gold pan here, and I've got some shotgun pellets. We're gonna add one. We have to count these. Gotta get a hold of them. Two. 3. We're adding 3 of those. Now, because of the density of gold and the density of lead, we know that if we get these pellets back, we haven't lost any gold. So let's go ahead and do this. Oh yeah. Now what I've heard with this gold pan, this Gold Crock gold pan, is you gotta keep it underwater. Let's get all this nice and wet. You gotta keep that material underwater at all times. This has got a lot of magnetite in it. It's got a lot of black sands in it. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna start shaking it. We're gonna stratify that material, and I'm gonna start tilting it forward. And we're just gonna tilt it forward. We're gonna pan it out into Not So Crusty Rusty. And I don't see any gold, even fine gold. That means, well, Jack, that's a good thing. That means when we originally panned it out, we didn't lose any gold.
Yeah.
Like there was no gold in that pan. So that means when we originally panned it out using a traditional pan, we didn't lose any gold. So what we're gonna do, this is the Nugget Reserve Rich Gold Pay Dirt. It's a 5-pound. It was actually a 2.5 pound. And when I bought it, it was buy one, get one. So I'm going to put about half of that in there.
Whoa.
Okay. For what I've read on the Gold Claw website, you only want to fill this pan about halfway.
Not all.
Or about 80% of the way, rather.
Yeah.
Might be some little itty bitty micro dots in there. Probably something you'd have to recover with mercury. Okay, let's wash that out. And let's do this one. So now when I was talking to Chris at Vogus Prospecting, he said be gentle on the finishing side. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Don't be so aggressive. Those riffles aren't quite as wide.
As
I see 3
these
shotgun
ones.
pellets. I see a little piece of gold.
Oh, wait.
You see that? You see that, Jack?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Here it is, guys. 3 shotgun pellets and a little piece of gold.
There.
How cool is that? That's awesome. Made it to the second riffle. Okay guys, we are ready. We've got new water. I've got not so crusty rusty in there. We've got our Michigan pay dirt. We're gonna give that a shot and get that going. See if we can find any gold. I've got 5 gallons of this stuff to do. Now I'm not going to film all of that. I will just give you the highlights. I've got an Asian lady beetle floating on the top of this. Gross. I'll just give you the highlights and I'll give you the wrap up on it. But I figure I'll just do a little bit here on camera. Man, this pan is so awesome. Alright guys, after a couple of hours, we are done. Didn't find anything else. I found that one little speck in the pay dirt from Golden Pay Dirt. Didn't find anything in the Michigan pay dirt. Might have been some micro dots that I missed, but you know, it's just the way it is. It's a micro dot. It's not really a big deal. As far as this thing is concerned, awesome. Can't wait to get it out into the field, get it out onto the rivers, do a little bit of panning on some Michigan rivers, see if we can find some micro dots. Love having this little one. Definitely going to take this one with me. Fits in my pocket. I already tried it out. It's the pocket pan, so it does fit in the pocket. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to get cleaned up. Bye.